Hi everyone! Welcome to our bonus in the Paint Studio live session. Today we're gonna play a little bit. I Yesterday was awesome and fun, and it ran a little bit longer than I had planned, and I totally forgot to to talk about the second prompt. I had so much to cover. So then this morning I was like, oh, I should just instead of I was going to film a video. I'm like, I'm just gonna go live and play a little bit. So if you're joining me live, welcome. Please say hi. Let us know where you are joining in from. And also, I put a little prompt in the chat and asked you your 3 favorite art supplies. If you want to share those, that would be a lot of fun. I'm gonna look at the chat and see what everybody saying. Let's see. HF says water-soluble watercolor crayons and caustic. I think I've seen a few of you put in like water-soluble pencils and neocolors. Hi, Anne from Coral Gables. Patricia says thread. Mary, hey Mary from Cold, Iowa. Watercolor, acrylic, and collage. Hey, Carrie from Ontario, Canada. Frida, welcome from California. And Angela says, only 3? Well, start with a substrate and then too many to answer. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Sarah from the cloudy Midwest, welcome. She said watercolor inks and graphite pencils. Hi, Cheryl. Today it's watercolor pencils, ink, and a brush. Very fun. Yes, that's what I'm going to use today. Some water-soluble pencils and some of my watercolors, probably some ink. Let's see. We've got a lot of people here. Welcome, welcome. Soggy Santa Cruz Mountains. Yes, it is raining in the Bay Area. Well, it's kind of clear, but the last couple of days and the rest of the week, I think it is going to be very rainy. Let's see. Donna, welcome. Tiffany, Sarah. Ross says a jelly plate, stencils, and stencils. Yes, definitely stencils. Those are fun. I have a lot of stencils. I've designed a lot of stencils, and I love playing with them. So today I just thought we could play a little bit. I'm going to give you a little preview of the Abstract Playground. If you sign up for my Inspiration Sketchbook course, you get this as a bonus. So if you sign up by today, you get it. And you'll be able to join in and get it for free. When it launches later after the course is live, it will be a paid program. So if you want to join me for that, definitely sign up. It's well worth it. It's going to be fun. It is a mixed media workshop and lots of painting, lots of techniques, just a lot of fast and fun background painting. They are meant to be start. So we're going to play a little bit there. I thought I'd also bring the iPad out. Somebody had asked yesterday if the Inspiration Sketchbook course is a lot of digital work. And I would say that it's probably half and half, depending on what you do in your process. The iPad is a big part of my process, so I share those pieces in the program. And if you don't have an iPad and you have an iPhone, you can actually use Procreate Pocket for your for some of the exercises. So that is on the iPhone and really fun to use. It actually has most of the big Procreate features, but you would just do them on your phone. But if you don't have an iPad, you can still join us, because there is a lot about creative process that no matter what your medium is, it's a way to approach your work and create a body of work that is uniquely, your voice. And so while some of the tutorials are in Procreate, you can still do some of those same exercises in a physical sketchbook, in a traditional sketchbook. So it's totally up to you what medium, what substrate, what sketchbooks, if you want to work on the iPad. But I offer it as a big part, well, as a part of this program, because it's such a big part of my creative process. And so we'll do a little bit with some photos today, and I'm planning just to do about an hour today. And then if you have any other questions, I went back and answered some of the questions that I missed yesterday, and then I had a few emails too. So if you have additional questions, you can put them in the Ask Us Questions section below. And then I realized also when I was going through the Crowdcast classroom here, I didn't have a link to join Inspiration Sketchbook. So if you want to join me and you need a link to the actual program, it's now under the video. So you should see that. And then I have a fun PDF, which I'm going to put the link in. I just have to pull it up really quick. I designed a little fun playbook so you can get a sampling of what my PDFs and my digital playbooks are like. I've been designing really fun course playbooks and PDFs for probably 20 years. I just found some of my other PDFs. Actually, they're right over there. Maybe I'll grab them. But I think I brought them out there. I had them stacked over here. One of my programs back in 2014 had a book that big, basically, of handouts. And so I wanted to give you a little sampling. And there is something that you should be able to use. First, we're going to play a little bit. So with paints and inks and whatever you have. I had said that in my email that if you want to play today, you just need whatever you have. You don't need anything special. I'm going to be probably using whatever's on my desk here, which is inks, a lot of my Traci BautistaCOLOR inks and paints, watercolors, I have some water soluble pencils, some oil pastels. There's lots that's here. So we are going to dive in. I have a few different substrates. I have like 4 or 5 different journals and papers, and I just am going to flow and play. And that's really how I approach coming into the studio when I'm in a place where I want to paint. Even if I have a theme or something that I'm working on, there's always this element of just showing up and letting things unfold naturally and not giving myself too much pressure. I just have fun with the process and kind of just grab things randomly that are on my desk. My desk is a little messy right now. Well, it's actually always messy, so I can't say it's ever clean. But this one area you'll see is clean, and so I'm gonna switch down to my studio table. And is anybody else gonna paint today? I would love to see what you're working on. And if you want to share it, please tag me. I haven't had a chance to check my DMs or anything yet. I just went onto Instagram really quick this morning and found out that there was some random login, so I had to deal with changing my password and everything. So this is actually, spoiler alert, for those of you who are in my subscription, these are the new tiles that are coming out. I think this is kind of dark. There we go, that's better. This is the new Wander collection. That is the winter collection, and it's all gouache. It's so fun. So I figured I would paint with these a little bit, and just give you a little peek at them. These are starting to ship this weekend and next week. So if you're in the subscription, this is for the artisanal level subscription. If you have that subscription, it's the big box subscription. And there's a bunch of other goodies in there, but I figured I would just paint with that today. So I had some fun stuff to do. Okay. So I have a couple of things here. So yesterday, if you missed, was everybody here yesterday? How many of you, if you weren't here yesterday, can you just put a 1 in the chat? Look, there's like a little tiny feather on my phone. Where is that from? Because I'm just going to show a couple of things. We talked yesterday about the abstract playground. And I showed a couple of samples, so I'm just going to bring out a few things. Yes, so if you missed yesterday, no worries. You can watch it right here in Crowdcast too. But I would watch it after this live session. I'll show you how to navigate there in a minute. But the abstract playground is going to be a class where you're basically creating all kinds of different backgrounds and playing abstractly. So we'll use some of your photos that you've gathered to inspire the mark making and the color. And then we're going to just play with lots of mixed media supplies. So these are really, some of them are really simple exercises and backgrounds. And then sometimes we build layers on top and we use a bunch of different mediums. And so it'll be a really fun class. It's really meant to be working really quickly, where you are going to leave with, like, I'm hoping a stack of like 20 or 30 pages of background paper. So you can use single sheets of paper. You could use your journal if you wanted. So a lot of these I've done on all kinds of different paper. There's some deli paper. There is just regular drawing paper. I really love the Strathmore drawing paper. It's like the kids drawing paper. You can find it at basically all of the craft stores. But I like it because of the weight of it. And it's a great collage paper. It's not super thin, but it is not super heavy either. And then I should put this here this way. I think there's like 200 sheets. So it's actually a really good value. But I just wanted to kind of show you some of the things that we'll be doing. And we'll talk a little bit about creating black and white art too for your artwork. And it's really for you to play. Like, this is graph paper. I love graph paper. It's like one of my favorite substrates to paint on. This was done with a with a plexiglass plate and some of my handmade glue gun stencils and more deli paper. I started painting with deli paper like 20 years ago after I met Cheryl Kahn. I don't know if any of you are familiar with her. She is amazing. She's actually one of my good friends and a mentor. She was one of the first people I ever took a class from. She's written numerous mixed media books, and she had a fabric line, she had a paint line, and I just talked to her last week, and she's doing really well. But she's the one who taught me about deli paper back in almost 20 years ago. So I've been painting on it for a long time, and I love using it. So I use a lot of found paper. I have some of my drawing paper right now. I'm going to be like moving around on a bunch of different surfaces because I don't like to use a hairdryer. I feel like, let me come back on camera really quick. I feel like a hairdryer is just a waste of time. And for those of you who like to use the hairdryer, that's totally your prerogative, but I'd rather be painting. So I never use a hairdryer at all. And that way I can work on multiple pieces at once, and I can keep going. I don't have to stop and sit there and wait for things to dry. So if you're in my studio, you'll notice I have like a couple of canvases up on the wall, usually about 3 or 4 journals out on the table or on the floor, and then numerous types of papers. And I kind of just rotate around. So I'm going to kind of do that in a smaller fashion here. And then so you kind of get an idea of how I play and how I work. Does anybody else work like that? I would love to know if you do. Okay, back to my table. Let's see. I have... This is a... what is this one called? This is a sketch and note. Hanamule, something like that. A lot of this is just testing out my paints and inks. This is part of the new Wander collection, these colors that are there. And this was part of the fave collection in here. So these were inks and watercolors that I designed for those. So a lot of this particular journal is swatches of some of my paint lines. This is the new Wander collection paint bars or pigment bars. I really love the color combination of that one. And a couple of the gouache colors there. So also inside some of my sketchbooks, I will do these little samplers. And so if you have a line of a collection of different pencils and pens, this is a great way to document and just to see what the colors are, because a lot of times we forget. This would actually be helpful if I made a photocopy of it and put it up on the wall, or if you did this on a separate sheet of paper. I think that's a really great thing. Then you can hang it up on in your studio. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a couple of things, some of this drawing paper, and I also have a sketchbook that is empty. Where is that thing? I have a sketchbook, here it is, where I clean off my brushes when I'm painting, so then I get all these other background papers. This is a different project, but then I start building out layers. So that's one of the things I do just to clean off my brushes. So these have like really no composition. It's just really to not waste paint. So I usually have a journal open like that so that I can clean my brushes. Even when I oil paint, I do the same thing. I try to get all of my paint out onto paper before I wash the brush or wash the brushes. So let's do, I should do these on white. Okay, I'm gonna start actually with this white paper, and I am going to, actually I need to grab so when I work, I usually have one glove on one hand, unless if I'm oil painting or using like acrylic paints, I'll always wear gloves now. I never wore gloves for the longest time, and now I wear gloves all the time. But some people I know don't like to wear gloves, so it's totally up to you. I am gonna start and just play. I'm gonna take, these are some of my new pigment bars. You can also get this effect if you have any kind of like oil pastel. This is a Caran d'Ache oil pastel. Any kind of wax-based or oil-based tool will work, because you're basically creating a resist. So again, like, I am not trying to make this a beautiful composition. I just want to play with my materials. This is why I wear a glove, because it can get a little messy. Oh, and I just realized that I need water. Okay, hang on everybody. Keep playing and painting. I'm just going to go grab a little water. Okay, I knew I forgot something. Okay, back to painting. Let me just get some water in this brush. I'm reading everybody's comments. Carrie says, sorry. She said, yes, I work like that. I don't even own a hairdryer. Cheryl says the same thing. I do too. Also, don't own a hairdryer. I have to have a hairdryer because my hair is so long that this time of year when it's cold and rainy, I have to blow dry it. During the summer, I rarely blow dry my hair. I mean, unless I have to go somewhere and it's sopping wet. But okay, I am going to, what color should I use? Let's use a little of this blue color here. So I started designing these tiles for my watercolor collections and now for my gouache because I like having these really big areas to paint in. When I make paint, I actually have like a big slab where I keep, like on this side of my table, which you can't see this side, there's a big tile here that is covered. It's actually covered with a bunch of supplies right now, but it has a bunch of paint on it. I don't know. We'll see if I can like lift them up. But the nice thing about working on with these tiles is that you can use big brushes and you can mix right on here. That's why I created them. So I'm just creating kind of a resist right now for one of my backgrounds. I'm going to move this light because it's in my waterway. So grab any kind of paint that you have. You could do this with acrylic too. If it's watered down, you can really get that resist look. So if you have any kind of crayon, any kind of waxy tool would work great. And then maybe I'll put in some of my, is this water soluble? I don't think that one is. I'm still in that kind of, right now I'm just mark making. We're going to pull out a photo in a little bit, but I'm in that mode of what I've been doing a lot lately has been landscape work with the paintings that I've been doing. So that's kind of a lot of the marks that I've been making too. Well, there's a little ink in here, although I think this is dark blue. We'll see. We'll put it down here just to see. I'm going to do a little wet and wet little action down here. And then this paper is like sopping up all of the water. It's because it's really not made to be water. It's not made to be watercolor paper. This is the drawing paper. And you'll notice like in my work, I use all kinds of random paper quite a bit. The Derwent XL bars, these are fun too. This is the, I think these are the graphite ones. But my favorite one is the charcoal, which is this little guy here. Look how dark that is. Ooh, it's pretty. Really pretty. And then you can actually wet that too to make it more like a watercolor. So you can see how the pigment bars become a resist there. So you can use them underneath. You could actually use them on top too. Preferably when it's dry. This is still a little wet, but it still will work pretty good. They're highly, highly pigmented, which is fun. So the idea of these like abstract pieces is that later you could use them in a lot of different ways. Like I could bind this into a journal. I could take a photo of it and use it digitally. I could use it just as inspiration, hang it up on my wall. And this actually looks like a lot of layers of landscape this way if I'm looking lots of different mountains and ridges. Or I could use it as a collage paper later. So that's the beauty of this kind of work. You can really do anything. This is a Neo color, which is really light. So right now it's just, I'm doing random mark making. Like I'm not using anything that I'm looking at. It's just playing with the colors and the supplies. And if it's helpful for you to edit yourself as far as the supplies you have, like on my desk, let's see if I can, I don't think I can bring the camera higher. Oh wait, let's see. I think it'll only go lower. Oh yeah, no, that's as zoomed out as it's gonna get. But, what was I going to tell you? Oh, I was going to say, like, you can see around the edges, I've got like 20, 30 bottles of ink here of all my handmade ink colors. And I've got some of my pigment stones, which are kind of like soft pastel, hard pastels, that can also be used as watercolor. I just need to put a little water on there. And these are fun because you can use them wet or dry. So I just wanted you to open up with something and make random marks and have fun with the process. I mean, look at the paper is like bleeding through here, which I don't really care. I'm just having, you know, I'm making marks using the colors that I have here. Again, this is gouache, which when there's a lot of water in it, it looks like watercolor. I could probably do some marks that are a little less watery so you could tell what they look like, but I'm going to pull out a photo. I'm cleaning off my brush onto this paper right now. I'm going to pull out a photo. So I encourage you guys to grab a photo. And let's see. I had a stencil somewhere here yesterday. Where was that stencil? I remember I opened up one of my journals and then there was a stencil in it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it though. That's okay. We'll use some other found tool to make some marks. What do I have over here? I've got some, I don't know, random spongy tools. And normally I have some cardboard around. One of my favorite things to use is cardboard. Oops. I was just showing them off, there we go, the other day in our class. So let me get some heavier paper for this next thing. And I'm gonna use some mixed media paper and swap between these two. So in Abstract Playground, we are going to be playing with all kinds of fun tools, whatever you have that you have in front of you in your studio. That's what we're going to be playing with. And I'm going to show you some of the tools that I've made over the years and how I use them. And let's do, I'm just going to actually paint this on here and see how it works. Do I have something I can roll this on? I just need a place to put the ink on here so I can roll it. Kind of soak everything up a little bit. So this is a priority mailbox. And I don't know if there has enough cushion. I think I need something soft underneath here. We'll see if we get anything. Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Sometimes when the surface is really hard, you need something soft. So I'm gonna just put this. These are these bamboo face. They're actually face wipes, but I use them for painting too. So you can make these like cardboard stamps really easily. I basically cut what do you call that stuff? The priority mailboxes into little strips and then glued them on here. And it's a great texture tool. And then now I'm going to actually paint a little of this on here too. Just to get a little variety of line and color on here. So you could also do this. I'm doing this with watercolor or water-based medium. If you want it to be a little bit more permanent, you could use acrylic paint. I just am using what's in front of me right now, so you'll see what happens when I paint over this in a minute. So anything goes in my studio as far as materials go. It's like there's really nothing is off limits. I really love looking at things and figuring out ways that I can use them differently. So a lot of the tools that I make are like that. So in all of my books, actually, I talk about the handmade tools that I use. So again, this whole exercise really is to get you to have fun with the process. I'm just putting a little water on this thing because I can't fit it in the water. So we're gonna see if I can get some of that ink to come off on here. So we're not trying to, or I'm not trying to make anything that's finished. These are just jump starts that later, again, I'll use them for something else. Let's use some of this ink that's in here. Used to paint a lot with the bottom of bottles. This is I don't know where I got this, Martha Stewart. It's like some foam stampy thing. It's so funny. I have all these random tools and I don't know. I must have picked it up a long time ago. But this is like this one's not even used. I have a lot of tools that are like that. So you can play with pattern on your papers. So oil pastel. And I'll work kind of like this on one for a little bit, and then I may kind of put it aside and then do something else. This is the luminance pencil that obviously needs to be sharpened. Let's use one that has a little bit more of a tip on it. There we go. So the beauty of this is also that, you know, right now it looks kind of crazy, but as you build up layers on top, especially on, that's why I moved to this a little bit heavier paper, because it takes a lot of layers. Like it can take a lot of paint layers. It can take a lot of water. This mixed media paper. And a lot of different mediums too. Okay, I'm gonna grab a photo. Where's my phone? How is it that I just lost my phone? Okay, well, I don't know where that went. And, oh, here it is. Where's my iPad? I can't, I brought my iPad in here. It's somewhere in here. But I have a bunch of photos. So on Apple, on your iPad, or on your iPhone, or any of your devices, if you have if you're not an Apple person, you can create a photo album. And that's what I do when I am working on a project. So I created this one album called Abstract Playground. So in this particular album, it has a bunch of photos that I've taken. Lots of them are landscape. There's a lot of beach photos. There's, random like weeds, just all kinds of different things. This would be a fun one to use as inspiration. And you can look at them like this. You can actually crop them too. Like I'll move them around on the screen just to kind of see. I love the shape of these, whatever those are. I don't even know what kind of plant that is, but what I can do too is just take a screenshot of that to crop it. And then if I open up that, now I have this just one little section, which is kind of nice too. So I do a lot of fun. I'm just going to save that. Playing around with the photos too. And actually, I think I might use this one to be my inspiration right now. And the way that I use photos is that I don't necessarily like use them so that I'm going to copy them exactly. Sometimes I will, for like a flower shape or something like that. There's times when I will do a little bit of sketching that looks a little bit more realistic. But most of the time what I am doing is I want to use the photos to be an inspiration for shapes, for color, for line, and also just the memory of the place. Like, what did you feel when you were at that place? If you can remember, like, I don't know where I took that photo, but there are certain, like, I could probably go back. That particular photo is in this one album, but if I scroll back to when I took that picture, then I could probably tell, like, where I was. But right now, I don't remember where I took that photo. But looking at your photos, how can you use them to inspire your mark making? And not copy them exactly. And we're going to work on that now and do a few fun exercises. And I'm going to build some more layers on some of these pages. I'll also take out my iPad if I can figure out where I put it. So let me switch back to my table. And that's not my table. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that is very weird. I don't know how I misplaced my iPad. I just had it in here. It's probably because I have like 20 journals and sketchbooks that are on the floor. So on this picture that I'm going to use, I am actually, let me turn it this side so it's a little larger. I'm looking at it because I love the lines from those little branches. And then I love this thing right here. It kind of almost reminds me, well, that's too big, but when you grow arugula, once it goes to seed, and then you take all the seeds, you harvest all the seeds, and if you let it dry, it becomes these little like pod things kind of like that. But this is definitely not arugula. I'm not sure. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. Let me go grab, let's go do this one on this paper while this other stuff is drying. This is a Stillman and Burn journal sketchbook. And see, this looks a little dark. There we go. And I'm going to use this photo to just inspire some of the colors that I'm working with and some of the shapes. And I'm going to start with a pencil, a green one. Trying to find my art graph pencil. But we can use some of these other ones too. Okay. So grab a photo that you have and just start using it to follow some of the lines that you see in your photo. And you can use, it doesn't have to be the same color that you're of the actual photo. It can be any kind of tool that you want to use will work great. But how can you take this and kind of make it an abstract piece? I don't know if you can see that on here. No. Well, actually, you kind of can. Let me take off the... Let's see if you can see it a little bit. I don't know if you can see it in the... Oh, you kind of can. I was trying to see... I was wondering if you could see it in the camera. So I'm making these little things over here. I have to put this on my lap because I need my other hand. Let's see, let's put it over here. Although it's going to keep closing on me. And you'll notice that when I work in using like tools that I'm holding, I'm not like up like this. I'm not trying to draw like this. I'm like at the end of the pencil and holding it in different ways so that I get more of a looser mark. Because when you're holding a brush or a pen like this, you're really tight. So experiment like holding farther back when you're holding a pencil. Even when you're painting with a brush, like experiment holding it farther back this way. Maybe I'll add in some color. This brush is actually a good one to make those little, whatever they are, pod things. And you'll notice I'm not trying to rush through doing this. Sometimes I do like make scribbly lines quickly, but right now I'm just looking for the shapes that I see there. And these might make their way into a painting later. Where did this color, what was that one? That was it this charcoal? No, it's this one. This is pretty. It's a dark moss. It looks black, but it's actually called dark moss. It's like a really dark green with a lot of black in it. This is a Derwent tinted charcoal pencil. Dark moss, that's what it is. TC16, I think. Has anybody played with these? I love these I got these a long time ago, and they're great. They're charcoal, obviously, and you can see they give you that kind of charcoaly look. Let's make some more of these little pod things, a different color. Mix in a little of this. This is one of my favorite brushes. It is the, see if it'll focus in there for you, Golden Natural by Silver. There's a glare. Let's see, can I get that glare out of there? That's not helping. But it is the Dagger Striper. It's one of my favorite brushes. And for this one, this might be all that I do for now. So very, very simplified, abstracted from this one photo. And I could really do some fun work with this digitally too. So I may take a photo of it too and then see how. I'm going to paint one more thing over here before I go. And see how it, how I can stack things on it and paint over the top of it inside of Procreate. And I may, there's like these weird bush things around here, which they're not so uniform as this thing, but keep it like that. When that dries too, I would probably go over this with another pencil. Like this is not dry enough to, I want to add layers on there. So again, I'll let that sit for a while. And then I'm going to pull on my iPad. I can find it. And then, while I'm doing this, I am going to see if I got this thing uploaded so I can send you the link. Let me find it really quick. Actually, I think I could actually send it from my Adobe. Here. Share via. Access to the link and view the file. The link will be copied to your view the file? Oh no, share a copy. Okay, it's uploading now. Okay, let's see, iPad. If you are still here with me, I would love for you to share one thing that you do in your own creative process. One of your favorite things that you do when you're developing a body of work. That would be great. And then I can find my iPad while you answer that. If you want to put that in the chat. Let's see, what are you all What are some of your favorites? I think we're a little delayed. And then while you're doing that, I'd also love to hear if you have an idea of your project or what you're working on. Like, what are you currently working on in your studio? If you want to share that too, that would be awesome. Okay. I've got the PDF, hopefully. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, we are a little behind. Cheryl says, well, mind mapping now, LOL, awesome. But usually I'll write to do some brainstorming. Love it. Sarah says, approaches vary, sometimes sitting quietly near my garden in the sun or at twilight with candles around and flowy music. That sounds delightful. Carrie says, I start with a base layer of paint, watercolors, or brayered or jelly prints. Sorry, no worries. Sarah says, like mind mapping too. Yes, I love mind mapping. It's like one of my favorite things. Mary says, today I was playing with ink and cardboard and a syringe. Awesome. With my paint collections, I have a video and a little fun exercise of turning my packaging into a painting tool so that you recycle and reuse the packaging. So in my play community, a lot of people have been painting with the cardboard, which has been kind of fun. I just actually found this little thing. I kicked it over there. I'll go grab it. I did a series of cardboard painting things like years ago, but there's some up on my wall like this. You can't see it. It's not up there. I'll pull it down in a minute. But the painting with cardboard is amazing because you can get some beautiful mark making with it. It's the simplest tool. Everybody has it, and you just need to cut off a couple of pieces and you can dip it. You can create little stamps if you want. You can use the edges to swipe. You can turn it into kind of like a brush or a lettering tool. So cardboard is one of my favorites to use. Okay, I have my iPad, and let me see if this file is up and loaded. Let's see. Carrie says brayered acrylics. Sarah says, I also use toothpicks to make fun, harsh marks with water and acrylics. Yes, I love that. I love that too. Yeah, Mary says that's what I've been doing. I think she's referring to the packaging. Fun. Okay. This file is taking... I've totally forgot that I was uploading it earlier. And I really actually like the simplicity of this thing. It's really, really a nice little composition there. And just pulling a few of the things from a photo. So that's really one of the ways that I use photos. Inside the program, I talk a lot more about that. Let's move this out of the way. And okay. try this one more time. Copy link. Okay, so let's just make sure that this worked. So I can give you this PDF. Yes. Okay, awesome. Let's see if it'll just paste in here. So I have a PDF here. Nope. Hold on, gotta get it from here. I tried to copy it from my phone, but it's being temperamental today. Okay, so you should be able to grab that, and when you do, it'll open up into Dropbox, and you can save it into your cloud. And I'm going to open up my Procreate and show you that PDF too. Okay, so when you open up the, oh, let me make sure this is the correct thing. Okay. When you open up the PDF link that I sent you there, this is what the PDF looks like. And you can print it or you can save it to the cloud. You can also, let's turn it this way so that you can see it a little bit better. There we go. So in here, there is just a little overview about the program, and then these were the 5 ideas I shared yesterday. So if you want, you can go back and like write notes about them. I put this as a space there, or you can just jot down your own ideas. But those were the 5 ideas that I shared yesterday in the live workshop. And then we did the mind map you exercise. This actually adds a little bit more in-depth questions. So it just gives you some questions to answer where you can mind map yourself. And there's a couple of little worksheets in here. So you're just getting a sampling of some of the PDF playbooks that are inside of Inspiration Sketchbook. And I also gave you a little sample of the planner, which that's what I'm going to use today, is this one. And you'll notice that right now I really compressed this lower, so it looks like on here it looks a little bit blurry. So if you're in the program, you'll actually get the high resolution PDF, but I didn't want to put that in here because it's like 60 megabytes. So there is a section here asking about your creative project, just a few questions. And then there are some ideas. So I wrote on here, what will you create? Those are just some of the things I've created. And then I also added in a list of ideas and tips for cultivating a consistent daily practice. And this is something I've written about in my newsletter. I've written about and spoke about it in all of my programs. It's one of the mindset topics that we dive into inside of Inspiration Sketchbook. So you can take time to read through there, but there's some really good tips here on really how to get yourself in a place where you are consistent with your practice. It doesn't have to be daily. This says daily, but you know, whatever your consistent practice is, and what you want it to be is totally up to you. So that just gives you some ideas. And then I gave you a little sample of one of the inspiration boards I put together in every inside the program, but also in my new inspiration sketchbook digital guides. So that's another thing. These come out every 6 months, or not 6 months, 6 times a year, and they're like PDFs of lots of inspiration and color palettes and jump starts. So that's something that actually the next one's coming out in March. And then a little bit more about the inspiration sketchbook and my play mixed media community. You can click on that to get more information. These are clickable links inside the PDF. And then you can play. So once you download that PDF, you can actually bring it right into Procreate too. So you can save it into Dropbox. Once it's in Dropbox, so if you download it, and save it, you can bring it right in. But I'm going to open up Procreate really quick. And bring this in there. You can also, one of the other programs I love using is NoteShelf. You can also open it right directly in NoteShelf too, if you're familiar with that, or even GoodNotes if you use any of those digital note-taking apps. Hold on, I gotta open up my Dropbox. And okay, good. It looks like everybody got it. Awesome. I'm just trying to open it up on here. Okay, so let me cover this because it has a bunch of people's names on here that I don't want to show on the camera, but I want to show you what you can do here. So when you have it open, this is in, I have mine in Dropbox, so wherever you save your PDF to, there's a little arrow, or not an arrow, but if you hit the dot and you hit share, that will bring up a list where you can share it. And it will say send link, send copy of file, or copy link. And I'm just going to take send copy of file right there and press it. And then what comes up are places where I can send it to. So if I scroll to the left here, I can send it to all these places, but I want to open it up into, oh, it's not there. It's down here. I want to open it up in, oh wait, where'd it go? Procreate was here a minute ago. Okay, I'm losing it. Well, I can print it too. I don't want to print it though. Hold on, let me find it. I just had it. Send copy of file. Okay, here it is. Jeez Louise, I'm losing it. Okay, so once you click on that, go to the, bring these all to the left and then hit more. And then when you scroll down, you can send it to Procreate right there. And then now it's going to import it right into Procreate. And it open it up in a new file. And so now I have everything inside of Procreate. And if I go here, you can see now I can work with the pages in here. Some of these I would delete, like, you know, I don't need some of these, like this one. You can delete that. It brings it into a layer. So if you don't need that layer, although this might be kind of fun because I could play with that little piece. So this is only for personal use. You can't use these to sell or anything like that, just FYI. So I could go in and delete the layers that I don't need. So inside here, you know, delete that. I could delete that. And then maybe I leave some of these other ones. But the one that I want to work with today is really this one that I put in here for you all. And what I'm going to do is actually take this and I am going to copy this layer. Oop. You can do it a couple of ways. I'm just going to drag it into a new, let me create a new thing. Paper. So I have a new document there, and then I'm just going to take this layer and bring it over there because I want to use this in a different file, and then I can start brand new. So I can keep it like that. I'm actually going to swap it like this sideways, and then click on fit to canvas, and then it fits it to the canvas, and then I'm going to drop it in there. And so now I have it in here like so. Let me make this a little darker so you can see better. There you go. So now I have this little template that I can use, and I'm going to use that photo or a new, maybe I'll use a different photo. Let me open up my Photos app really quick. And Abstract Playground. And so I have this Abstract Playground photo album that I created. There we go. And then I can open up Procreate, and I can drag this on the side over here like that. And then that's how I can see them side by side. And now I could go in and see, what do I want to use for my next, maybe something that is a little bit, this might be kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of boring. Oh, it's not boring, but the lines, I think I'm going to mix a couple of things. Okay, so this was over in, what is that area called? Hunters Point Shipyard, I think. That's what it's called. The studios over there. And in San Francisco. And, oh, this was taken in 2014. It was a long time ago. You can see my head's like right there. I love taking pictures of doors. But I'm going to use this photo to kind of inspire some of the marks that I might make. And I could use it to inspire some of the colors. So I may drag this in to Procreate. I could use it on the side here too. What's this one? Ooh, this is actually even better. Look at that. I think this is in, where's this at? I want to say that this is in, with the graffiti. That's really cool. But I love the colors in there. That is, it's a dog beach. Why can't I think what it's called? And maybe I'll drag in another, those are magnolias. Let's drag this one in too. Oh, look at Indy. You can't see her face. You can see her ears, though. Here's a better one. I think that was in San Francisco, too. That was a long time ago. This one's a good one, too. Okay, so I think I'll use these 3. And I'm doing a couple of different things, so I'm gonna turn off all those layers first because I want to see this thing and use this as my little guide. And I'm gonna start here, and I just want to grab some color from this. It's interesting, this has like some purple at the end, like maroonish color, which you couldn't really tell until I zoomed in. It looks just like brown. That's like a really pretty though. But what I want you to do with your photos is to look and see, like, what are those lines doing? What are the shapes? Oh, look, there's more of these things. Whatever those things were that I was drawing. That's funny. I want you to see and look. And again, I'm not trying to paint these exactly, but I just want to use them to make some marks. So I am going to create a new layer on here, and then chose my brush that I want to use, and kind of making a mess of myself over here. And I'm just going to make some marks. So look at your photos, and what do you see? What can you kind of turn into a motif or a mark? I really like that. Oh, that. Just need to turn this back on because I want some of this greenish color. And go back to my drawing layer there. So a lot of times I'll start doing this kind of work inside my iPad and then take it to a paint. Take it to paint. Oh, how did the eraser get on? And these things back there, I really like those. Let's go and grab a lighter beigey color and then maybe draw some of those in here too. I don't know if you're going to be actually able to see them very well. And I'm not too concerned with the scale of this. I am just wanting to make the marks. Quiet. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat. Carrie says, are you working on a tablet or laptop? This is an iPad, if I didn't say that earlier. Can you not see me? P, only see your drawing board. Can you not see me now? Let me know. I think you guys are a little bit behind me. So I pulled I pulled the tablet down because I was looking for something and I didn't want to show what was on my screen. So you probably saw the drawing board because I pulled the tablet off of it for a little bit and I was talking at the same time. So let me know you can see me. I think you guys are probably like 30, maybe 30 seconds delayed. I'm not sure. So this is a great exercise if you're just sitting like watching TV and you kind of want to, okay, good. Now you can see me. And you kind of just want to play and you don't want to bring all of your tools out, then this is a really fun way to work. Okay, so we did that one. Let's see. I think I pulled this one too. I may layer, I think I might just layer this over. I really love that. That magnolia. I'm just gonna make this color there. And I'm gonna start a new layer. So every time I paint, that's the beauty of using a digital program, because you can create layers very easily. So I'm taking, actually I could probably just paint these on here. I am just playing with those shapes of those magnolias on here and adding them on here onto the same canvas. It's a little, see that one I feel like is too tight. I don't like it. So I could erase it. Now I'm going to hold this way, get something that's a little bit more, that's a little much. I really like how that, when you turn this brush, this particular brush, which is that botanical sketching, if you hit it on the side, you see you get kind of that pencil, like if you're using a pencil on the side, and then when you use it right side up, then you also get the thin line. So in my digital canvas class, we talk a lot about creating brushes. Okay, so this one, I mean, I kind of, these kind of were very close to what the original looks like versus making it more abstract. But I just wanted to kind of play with the idea of how I will kind of merge different photos together. And like this one, the composition on here is definitely not like perfect. But I also have these really fun motifs that I could use for something else later. So a lot of times that's what I'll do with photos. And like this one here, I really love this idea of that peeling paint there. So the last thing I'm going to do on here is maybe down here. Let's do a new layer. And then I'm going to Nico roll it. And I want this to be underneath. It's a lot darker than I thought it was. But now you can see that color. It's kind of pretty. Let me get, I thought it was more blue. I think I pulled a color that was there. I don't know how that happened. Oh, I know. That's why. I think I accidentally touched the wrong color, maybe? It's really strange. It looks like the color is not picking up the correct color. There. No? Yeah, there. Okay. Sometimes, I don't know why it does that. Let's see now. Yeah, that's more like it. I don't know how that happened. Very weird. Can I find that door? Here it is. Be easier to see on here. And then maybe I do a little line that's a little bit darker gray. Over this. And so this is how I would combine my images. And again, you know, I'm not trying to make it look perfect or anything. And that's the beauty of using the iPad too. You can erase really easily. And then I can move this. Like, I really like this idea up there. And maybe I want to go and freehand, let's turn off color fill. I want to freehand select this little guy. And I'm on the right layer. I want to copy and paste it again. And now I have two of these little guys. So if I were to then later say, oh, I want to make like a fun little composition out of this, I could. I want to grab one more thing. Also, this one. I'm grabbing this little beige one. I don't know if you probably can't tell which one I'm grabbing it, but that one I'm going to copy and then paste it. And then now I have another one of those. And then when I turn this off, you'll see what I'm trying to do in a minute. Let me turn that off and this one off. There we go. And then I started to see, ooh, this would be fun. Oh, I'm not sure where that, what I did there, but that's okay. Oh, it's part of that one. Oh, that's what it was. I can erase those. But now you can start to play with this even more. Let's select this out of here. cut and paste it on its own layer and then move it. So I can clean that up a little bit. But you start to see how quickly you can work with Procreate once you start playing with it. There's lots that you can do once you... I'm just trying to see how this would look. So you can get some really fun abstract compositions doing that too. If I turned off the background layer, and then this might be just from that play, I've got a really interesting start of something there. Obviously it's not finished, but it's a really fun like idea. There's things that I would do, like there's this green line that needs to go away, which, oh, it's on that layer, that's why. Yeah, it's funny because sometimes you don't notice. Oh, that's too big. I can just erase that out of there. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to see like what you're cutting out of the other layer. So then you can clean it up a little bit easier. So I'm liking the direction of this. I'm not sure what I would do with it yet, but you can see how I took 3 different photos and now I have this really fun abstract, little abstract piece that I can play with later. So I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek into some of the things that we're going to be working on inside of Inspiration Sketchbook, and hopefully you enjoy that PDF and have fun playing with the process of creating abstract sketches, both in paint and in digital format. I'm going to come back on the camera really quick because oops, hold on really quick. I just realized it is already 2 o'clock. This is what, especially when you paint, I think that sometimes you don't, when you're like doing artwork, you don't really realize how long things go. Let's see. Sarah asks, I'm curious about the Inspiration Sketchbook workshop. What days of the week and what time of day do these usually occur? Oh, so there are a couple of live sessions. A lot of the content is actually going to be in a classroom where you can access it whenever you want, 24/7. So, but the live sessions, I usually do them different times, but the retreat is a 3-hour retreat, and that is on the 21st, which I think is a Tuesday. And normally for that day on Tuesdays, let me look. Yeah, it's Tuesday. That's scheduled from 11 to 3. And we do that 3 hours and we break it up. So if you can't attend the live sessions, there's a replay. And then usually I alternate time. So we're going to have a couple of live Q&As and a live kickoff on the 14th, which will be probably, I have to look at the schedule, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be at 2:30. So it's usually either starts at 11 or 2:30 Pacific time. But again, if any of the sessions that are live you can't make, the recording is available right after, so you can watch that. And then we have a private community, so you can share your work inside of our private community. I will hopefully maybe Sunday or Monday have a little tour behind the scenes so you can kind of get a sneak peek into what those look like and how everything works. But if you've never been in my classes before, I have 3 components. I usually use live streaming like this, and I also have the ability to bring you on screen so you can share your work inside of Crowdcast. And then I have pre-recorded videos, and there are PDFs, and then you access those in a content hub, which is hosted where I host all my courses. And then there is the third thing, which is what am I missing? Oh, our community. And that's in Mighty Networks. It's a private community. So you can share your work. You get direct access to me where you can send me a direct message in there. And then I'm going to do some fun feedback sessions, ideation sessions during the 4 weeks that we're together. So when you sign up, you can click the link below to join me. And if you sign up by today, you get to come to the abstract playground workshop for one of the bonuses. And if you sign up paid in full, you get access to my inspiration sketchbook. Colors, I can't think right now. Colors, patterns, letters workshop. And that one, I can't remember how many projects. I think there's like 6 projects in there. And it's with watercolor, oil pastel, mixed media. There's some really fun background techniques. There's some lettering in there. I really should bring it up on screen, but I don't have it prepped. So that one has it sells by itself. If you purchase that on its own, it's $50. And with the abstract playground, it will end up being probably between $77 and $97 when it goes live if you just want to join that. So you definitely are getting a really great deal if you join Inspiration Sketchbook and get Abstract Playground for free. So I would love to have you join us. That bonus ends tonight. So if you want to join and get Abstract Playground, make sure you sign up by this evening. And then registration will be open until let me look at the calendar. Registration will be open till the 17th. I'll give everybody a few extra days. We officially start on the 14th, but you can always come back into the classroom and see if you miss anything in the first week. But the lessons are delivered over 4 weeks, and then you'll get a calendar. When you do sign up, you get an automated email that gives you a little bit more information, and then you get a series of emails after that give you another playbook and really you're going to start thinking about the project that you want to work on. In the retreat, that's the main goal, is to walk away with an idea of the next project you're working on. It could be also a project that you're already currently working on. But if you have a new project idea, you're going to focus on that for the 4 weeks that we're together. So thank you, everybody. Let's see. Awesome. Let me look at your comments really quick and see if I have any other questions. Let's see. It's easy for time to get away from you. I know, totally. Carrie says, Tracy, that was awesome. Oh, thank you. I've never seen Procreate or digital artwork in progress before. Oh, Carrie, it's so fun. I love Procreate. I've been using it for since 2012 when I first got my first iPad mini. I used Procreate on that little tiny thing for probably 5 or 6 years until I actually upgraded to this. Then this is an older, bigger iPad, but it really has changed it has changed everything in my creative work, in my creative business, because there's so much you can do with it. And you can see I still paint traditionally and I paint digitally, and I love being able to merge them. And I think also that comes from me being a graphic designer. So I was basically raised on the computer drawing and painting. But I also went to school at a design school at a time when I still had to typeset. I had to hand set the type, and I couldn't use the computer. So I was really lucky in that I learned how to do graphic design without the computer first. And then I was slowly, any of you who are graphic designers, you probably are familiar with like Quark Express back in the day. This is like early 90s. And Photoshop, when a drop shadow took like 30 steps, or probably not 30, maybe like 15 steps. And now in Photoshop, there's a drop shadow little filter and it's like one click. But back in the day, almost, 30 years ago, Photoshop was it was very archaic to what it is today. So I went to school at a time when I was able to really learn how to use my hands with design, and it's really also helped me um, in my creative work, where I merged both the technology and design when I'm making things. So I love being able to take what I do. I just showed you like a really, really tiny sliver of what I use Procreate for. In my Procreate pattern class, I teach how to take motifs that you draw, or even paintings that you create, and in my other course, Digital Canvas, I teach you how to take your mixed media work and then kind of deconstruct it to create motifs and patterns. And there's just such a huge possibility with Procreate. And we actually dive into that in, I think it's the first module. I talk a little bit about like the possibilities and all the different things you could do in your creative practice as you start to learn how to use it. And it becomes such a really great tool to become efficient, to test out ideas. You can take a picture of a painting and then draw on it, so that if you were ever stuck, I like to call it like auditioning the painting. So there are times when I'm like, oh, I don't know, it looks so awesome, I don't really want to mess it up. And so what I'll do is take a photo of it and bring it into Procreate and just kind of deconstruct it or draw on top of it. So as you can see, I mean, there's so much possibility. So I'm glad that you got to see that, Sarah. Thank you, everybody, for your sweet words. Awesome. I am so thrilled to have many of you joining me, and I hope to see some more of you. We're going to have a fun 4 weeks together, and I will be in touch soon. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and you get to play a little bit and have fun in the studio. And also, hopefully, you get some nice weather. The sun is peeking out right now, so I'm going to go take this little girl for a walk. I wish I could move my camera so you could see her. She's like spread out right here underneath my toes. So thanks, everybody. Oh, wait, I just noticed there's a question. Let me just make sure I get that before I go. Carrie asks, is Procreate only on the iPad? Yes, it is only an iOS app. But if you have an iPhone, it's also, you can download Procreate Pocket. I think the Procreate Pocket might be like, when I got it, it was like $4.99. I'm not sure if that's what it still is, but a lot of what I did today, you can do on the iPhone if you have an iPhone too. So it's just it's a smaller screen, but you can still do the same things. All the same brushes are there, all the same tools, all the same menus and everything. It's just a little bit of like a more compact screen. So if you have an iPhone and not an iPad, it's definitely worth downloading and playing in there, because there is a lot. You can literally create a collage paper in like a minute and then send it to your printer and print it. That's how amazing this program is. Like, you could just scribble on it really quickly and then send it to your printer, and then you have some really cool abstract collage pieces. So again, we're going to talk more about that in Abstract Playground, and I can't wait for some of you to join me. Okay, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye.